Hey everyone, it's Adrienne. I'm back to do another video for tonight, and it's going to be a video on an animal totem, the toad. Also the frog, because their energies are pretty interchangeable. They are cousins of each other. So, give me 1 second, someone's coming through the door. Are they coming? Okay, so it's just something that happens when you're the first apartment on the side of the front door. Okay, so the toad, one of my main spirit animals that I have. The reason why I'm doing the toad is because I changed the direction of my toad. I wasn't sure. I was looking off of different websites to see what direction my statue was supposed to be in, and I'm pretty sure I had it in the wrong direction, and the energy felt a lot better because the cats were constantly moving it and was constantly turning around. So I'm not that into Feng Shui. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I got the rooms pretty okay, but I think it's right now. So this is my statue from California. If you didn't see my California haul, this is made out of a resin. And traditionally you would see him under coins, maybe with an elephant or with the Buddha, or standing on a lotus is what I have my other one on, which I will be showing afterwards. So this is used to cross over to the spirit worlds. The toad, the difference between the toad and the frog for their territory is that the toads are usually on land and they go to the sea when they need to go there, or some body of water. So if you're looking into toad magic, then you could look into that and see how it relates to your situation. While the frog is primarily in the water, they both will begin in the water when they're tadpoles and then they grow up. So this is the three-legged one that you could look up more online. And with the 7 points, usually means that it's activated and it's red. So this is the Big Dipper, plus 2 more out of the northern skies. I'm pretty sure 2 more. With the parotid glands and going into witchcraft, it was used for astral projecting oil or flying oil, ointment. So the parotid glands gave off the mucus, and it's poisonous for them. Is it poisonous for every one of them? I know it's poisonous to some degree, and they would use it in their astral projecting oil. It gave off this similar effect of mugwort when you would use it in a similar situation. So you don't want to induce astral projecting. It's not recommended, but it is possible, and that would just aid with it. So then it would have the red eyes, another activation point, and you would have the coin go in here with the flared nostrils, and then the rope going through its mouth and catching coins. So it's going to be catching coins, but it could also mean like you're in control or you're working together to fulfill a desire. And then there's the yin and yang for the balance and the bond between 2 inseparable polarities for the yin and yang. So the spirit realm with the physical realm that we're in right now. This is just a mini Buddha that I got. I think it's broken. I've had it for a really long time. Or maybe there's something on the ear, I'm not sure. I just keep that here. And the other toad that I had, I got it from Enchanted Fox for $10. This was actually $30, surprisingly. They were doing a blowout sale where they were getting rid of specific items to replace them for the next season. When I was there, I was probably getting fall items in California. So it's on a lotus, and it has the opening for the coin. It has the coins going through its mouth for the Feng Shui. Again, I'm not a genius with this, so don't quote me on it. But I know you're not supposed to have it in your bedroom or bathroom or kitchen. It should be, a strong point would be diagonal from the door. Now with the direction, I'm pretty sure I got it right with bringing the money in, so it's going opposite from the door where it's facing, so when you're walking in instead of walking out. You could surround it with money if you want to. Surround it with something, maybe incense, and manifest your desires. Maybe you want to put a letter, I keep saying maybe, of your wishes there, constantly giving in to your spell that you're doing. I do have money that I used for my ancestors. So this is hell money. Some people call that hell money. I don't really call it hell money. It doesn't really sound right. But you would burn this. You could probably write something in the back of it, because some of them don't have anything on the back besides maybe a little ink there. And I got this at a local Asian market for like $2. Less than $1.50 actually. For people that have seen Salem, sorry. For people that have seen Salem, the TV series, I wouldn't say that's inaccurate, but there are more than the types of witches that they portray on there. I only seen a couple of episodes, so I'm not sure exactly how many because it's been a long time, but I remember Will's dad's girlfriend was telling me that they would suckle on a teat of the woman or some part of her, which does make sense. They to gain like the energy, or to gain the power and the desire to keep them living, for them to help you out with whatever you're wanting to have in your life. Probably like money or youth, having a good life in general is what I was seeing in the show. What else? Mr. Shadowboy, he was talking about the myth with the devil and having toads with it, which is why I was talking to the woman in the dollar store, and she was like, my mom's afraid of toads because she's really Catholic, or she was really religious. And there is this myth, or you could not recommend it, just try it. It's kind of sacrificial to do it. If you were to burn the toad alive, and I'm pretty sure it was, you fed it bread from church, bread and wine, to make it like sacrilegious, because this is more of like a devil's working kind of spell. And you would burn it after you would feed it that, and then you would go into this state where you would meet the devil himself, and then you would challenge him, and by doing that you would try to get the bone of the toad, like a toad leg or something, or a frog leg that you can find in a Chinese market. I'm just saying that you don't need to get a bone, but anyway, you would get the toad leg from him, and if you were able to get the toad leg from him by tricking him or something, that you'd have like ultimate power in the world. But again, that's pretty sacrificial. I wouldn't recommend it at all. So besides that, if you're going to try to get toad magic, you can get a stuffed animal, or you could make your own little poppet of a frog, or get something that represents a frog. And as I was saying before, you could go to an Asian market and pick up a frog like there, since they are cousins. Then you could probably do that. Besides that, you could you could get a frog from the pet store. There was a couple. There was a couple of things that I was gonna say of how to get representations of frogs or toads. Toad statues, duh. I have an onyx toad that I got from a metaphysical shop. If you're trying to work with a frog, you can get something from the water. If you want to work with a toad, you can get something from the land. I believe the frog is more slimy. There are some species that are poisonous. And if you're trying to use the poison to your spell for maybe a curse or something related to that, you could probably use that too. I don't think that toad oil, or that mucus from a toad, is that obtainable. At least I haven't tried it or looked online to see if I could get it, but maybe it'd be available and you don't have to go on the black market to get that kind of stuff. There is a book that I have by Gemma Gary, if I said her name right. Cool. If I didn't, I'm really sorry. She has the book on the black toad, and there's some magic related things that you could use, or the book is like all magic anyway, and there is history and mythology going with it. I haven't read the book fully, so I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it's traditional witchcraft from Cornwall, England, if I got that right. Cool. Again, I haven't really looked into this in a long time. I just did this video because I was thinking, man, I can't believe my toad has been the wrong direction this whole time, and then people have been seeing it in my videos, but it's okay. You can call on the toad to help you make an astral projecting oil. I did use that before. When I started to just start off with making oils, I heard him say, like, you're seriously using that? Like, because I was just putting random stuff in. I think it was chamomile that he didn't like that I was using, and I heard it clearly in my ear. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not using that. I had to restart my oil. Anything else? I'm just looking at the toad to see if there's anything else that I would want to say. This is going to be another video of me just looking off into nowhere, and it's going to be an awkward silence for like over a minute or two. And so back to getting a pet of a frog, or if you can get a toad, maybe to use it as your familiar. If you want something more alive, you could do that. I know they're pretty cheap at PetSmart for like $14, $15. And they have claws too. Do they have claws? Now I'm just making stuff up. because I see claws on this one. I know they have the webs on their feet. So for like the Chinese frogs, you could probably do something with their claws, like clawing it and getting at money. But they already use that for crocodile feet. So I think that's it for this video. There is a ratio to have if you have a business, and a recommendation or a recommended amount of toads that you would have in your space, and some things that you would have around it that would aid you in getting more money and to have a prospering business. Oh, I didn't really go over like the spirit realm and having frog. Well, I mean, it's astral projecting oil. I guess that covers majority of it. I'm just trying to think of like the regular attributes that a frog would have, so I don't miss anything, because I usually miss something afterwards, and I remember it afterwards, so then I don't know what I'm talking. I can't remember what I'm talking about when I'm filming. That's what I meant. Let me just pause this so you don't see me just like think off into space. Okay, I'm actually referencing one of my books because it's right next to me. And that is the Animals Speak book, the spiritual and magical powers of creatures of great and small, with no of. I got this in Barnes & Noble, and then I found another copy that I got for Will in a thrift store in New Jersey. So since it's associated with the land and water, it also links them to the lore of the fairies and elves. Then some shamanic practices for rain and control of the weather. Okay. Lunar energies, because it's associated with water, so that makes sense. And the tides of water are moved by the moon. So the moon energy, goddess energy, feminine moon energy. Why am I just being like that? Abundance and fertility. Maybe tadpoles aren't frogs. Maybe it's just the pollywog. I know I said tadpole in the beginning. So it looks like male sperm, and then that's for the abundance and fertility. Since it is associated with water, and that would link it to emotions. So if you're having some type of emotional problems or trying to heal yourself, then you could probably use the frog for that. I haven't, but it's probably doable. And metamorphosis, because it's an egg and then a pollywog to a frog, so I guess it isn't a tadpole. Oops. And another thing that you can use it for, and that's the last thing that I'm going to say from this book. So, tune keenly to sound, recognize and respond to certain sounds and their locations. And water is a good conductor of sound. So it would be good for people who would want to have a stronger voice, or maybe if you're being more literal with music, or to call on something vocally. So that was the frog. I might say in the description like the last 5 or 10 minutes are like a bust, because I just go into like that blank stage where I don't even know what I'm supposed to say anymore, but I want to keep talking. Because I think that other people are more prepared than I am with making videos, and then they just like talk because they have stuff written down or they like research stuff before, and I like it how it is, how I'm not looking up anything really, and I'm just kind of going with the flow. I feel like that's how it kind of was when YouTube first started out. It wasn't so perfected when you have all these edits in your videos and there's actual scripts and things, and people weren't as harsh as they are now, because people are like kind of trolling jerks online sometimes. There, I said it. So I am going to end it, and I hope that it wasn't too terrible. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.